Welcome to the STEM Pathways podcast, where we delve into the fascinating world of science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm your host, Rohan Sharma, a passionate explorer of all things STEM. Each episode, we bring you captivating stories, cutting edge research, and inspiring interviews with experts and enthusiasts who are pushing the boundaries of innovation. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just curious about how the world works, join us as we unlock the mysteries of the universe and explore the endless possibilities of STEM. Let's get started. Today, I'll be interviewing Rene Jarquin-Le, who's working on a bachelor's in aerospace, aeronautical, and astronautical slash space engineering at UMich. How are you doing today?
Uh, Doing good. It's summer, so I get to wake up later.
Yeah. So to start off, I wanted to ask you what made you choose your major in college?
Well, I mean, since as long as can remember, I've always liked things that had to do with building, and I've also liked to look up at space as well. So stuff like the Apollo missions, Elon Musk's attempts at going to Mars, those all kind of pushed me towards this direction, but I didn't go to University of Michigan for my space engineering major. I originally went for robotics because that was another interest I wanted to get into. Um, but it turns out liking something is not enough to actually be good at it. So when I originally got into my first two robotics courses, um, I basically flunked. Um, C++ is not my thing. I'm just a lot better at MATLAB, which is actually really good for climate and space sciences and engineering. So kind of stuck with that. I switched majors and declared as of the winter 2024 semester, and now I'm going full space for next semester.
Yeah. Can you talk a little about the classes you do for this major?
So the intro classes I have not started yet, but I do have them lined up. I Okay, so first I have the Earth systems class. So it's a history of how the Earth in climate and well, toward like the moon tides and all that have changed throughout its 4.6 billion years of history. And the other one is on an intro to space instrumentation. So like solar sensors and maybe even a little bit of thrusters. Um,
Yeah.
and this is actually a not part of the major for some reason, but I'm also taking intro to satellite design. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw that you're doing an internship at NASA this summer. How's that been going?
Oh yeah. It is more like an apprenticeship. So like it's a group of STEM students that are I think they are usually undergraduate, but they don't have to be. But it's called the Michigan Concept Academy through LaSpace at Arizona State University. Um, it is basically just a bridge between academics and it's introducing you to the professional side of, well, space sciences and engineering. Um, so I got to do a lot of writing because 80% of the work about in engineering is just writing. Um, yeah, and my primary role right now is thermal engineer. So I get to decide how the rover will survive on the lunar surface in around 8 Kelvin of temperature. And my secondary role is electrical, so I have to deal with like power system risks and make sure everything is working and that the rover can keep going for the whole mission. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you use a lot of like modeling on those like softwares that you can kind of like play around with the rover like a video game?
I have not gotten to that yet. I don't think it's even part of my role, but part of the what part of the potential certifications you can get out of the program is through the NX CAD system, which I mean I didn't look into it, but apparently it takes like a thousand couple thousands of dollars to actually get certified in, and I'm getting it for free. Um, but yeah, that is part of it. It has simulations and you can make assembly parts within it. I do have prior experience in CAD through a vocational class I took senior year of high school through SolidWorks. I actually made a box like this. Well, I used G code and we were made to make working boxes. So I have this and the metal version, which I have my D&D dice in.
You 3D printed that?
This is 3D printed, and this is through I actually do what they're called, but it's like a drilling machine that you give it code and it kind of just cuts out a piece of metal for you. Yep.
Yeah, I used a CAD through SolidWorks last week for the first time, and
Mm.
then I tried to like make some simple designs, screwed it up, and then went on a website with pre-made designs and printed out a little Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, the hardest part is the design. So the top of this metal box I made has I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see the design, I guess. It's
Yeah.
the symbol for the British Special Air Service
Mhm.
because I like the logo. It's just a sword with wings. Um, yeah, that itself, the entire box took like over 800 lines of G code. So yeah, that took me a while.
Yeah.
But if you like basically coding and telling coordinates of where the drill to go, that's for you.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about potential careers with your major?
So with space engineering, I could technically go anywhere. So any engineering major, especially mechanical and electrical, you can basically go anywhere that involves technology. Well, any STEM job. Uh, you could be a technician for one. Um, you can also go into manufacturing. So like in uh I guess NASA does have some manufacturing partners that they get a lot of their parts from. So when I went to Cleveland, Ohio, I went to the NASA facility over there, and they had a lot of focus on microgravity. Um, so a lot of testing and just assembly of different test subjects that they just dropped down a very deep hole as I actually held my phone over to record. Risky. Uh, so at least there you can help out with a lot of their experiments. Um, they did also have tracks for rovers, so simulated land for the moon and Mars, and that's how I learned that. Well, basically realized that wheels, as we know them, full of air, would be bombs in space, so they can't really use normal wheels, and they'll use like this mesh wire wheel that just it lets stuff through, but you can still roll with it. Um, so you can I can't really explain the type of jobs, like the names that you'll get, but you will be able to get into like stuff like R&D, research and
Yeah.
development. Um, and even like civil engineers, they'll work on making bridges, buildings, all of that. It
Yeah.
just depends on what route you go, whatever whatever thing you want to build. Yeah.
Um, since SpaceX has exploded over the last years, uh, have much more people been going into this major?
I personally have only met two people at my university. Um, there was one I happened to run into during a work shift at the dining hall, and the other one added me on LinkedIn, and they had a similar interest. And those are the only people I've met with my major, other than the professors that, they actually teach it.
Yeah.
So,
Do a lot of the people at like NASA or SpaceX or whatever have other engineering backgrounds like mechanical, electrical?
oh yeah, it's a wide background. You have mechanical engineers, thermal, computer engineers, especially. Um, at least in the NASA program I'm in right now, our engineering roles, we have mechanical, electrical, CDH, which is computer, thermal, and then it splits off into science and programmatics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of career are you hoping to get into once you're done with college? Or are you looking for higher education?
Um, I want to get at least a master's or PhD. Well, at least a PhD. Well, they'll pay me if I can do good enough. So, yeah, I might go that route. Um, but career-wise and what I want to do with my job is I just on the most simple level, I want to shoot things into space. Um, like this rover mission kind of simulation experience that we're getting from NASA here. It's it is really setting me up for that, I think. Because as thermal engineer, just looking at insulation and just handling where heat is going in every system is pretty crucial. So if I wanted to really I could go into any part of the engineering process with this um major when it comes to space and NASA.
Yeah.
Um, it just wherever my job sends me, I can basically do it. Because again, it is mostly writing. I don't have to, most of the time, I don't have to actually be in the building with them. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to shoot things into space and make sure they work for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. Um, Thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was a nice conversation. I haven't really talked to anyone in, I guess, the aerospace field before, so that was nice.
Yeah. A lot of people that are similar to my major will be in aerospace, or a lot more aerospace people that I've met than people in my own major for space engineering. Um, I guess they just like planes and helicopters better.
But
Yeah.
yeah. All right then. Thank you.
Yep.